farther westward, softly falling into the dark, mutinous Shannon Bay.
All over the place, and he loves to run the middle in transition, and both these middles are very active.
All right, we've got a great matchup for you. IPFW volleyball action right here on College 56.
And that's been your...
Good evening and welcome to the Hilliard Gates Sports Center on the campus of Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. This is Jay Warren along with Ryan Perrott calling the action in this evening's men's volleyball match between the Buckeyes of Ohio State University and the 2000 IPFW Mastodons. Ryan, we got a great matchup. Why don't you talk about some of the keys tonight for IPFW?
Well, as I mentioned a little bit in the opening, you know, this is going to be one of the best matches you've seen this year. Ohio State's coming on a 4-match win streak. They're playing good volleyball right now, and you know, two of the big reasons are their middles. Renee Estevez and Colin McMillan. They're both playing exceptional volleyball right now, and their setter Angel Aha is playing very well. So as he goes, so does the team, and so far so good this early portion of the season. For IPFW, they're on an 8-match win streak. Their last loss coming to Ohio State, and they've improved in a lot of areas. I think a lot of people at the beginning of the year when they were losing in Hawaii in that tournament, I think a lot of people might have jumped off the bandwagon a little bit, but they've come back with a vengeance, and they want to prove a lot of people wrong here tonight. And that's what's going to make this match such an incredible one.
Now, they are coming off a win, a 5-game win at Lewis on Wednesday. Is that a team that IPFW should have gone 5 games with?
I think a lot of people underestimate Lewis. I think a lot of people thought that Lewis this year would be a feeble team that most MIVA teams could walk over, but that's not the case, especially playing at Lewis. It's a tough facility to play at. The crowd's always involved. So it was a good win for IPFW, a good win on the road, and hopefully they can maintain the momentum here tonight.
Right, and speaking of home, we've got the home court advantage here. The fans are starting to rev it up too as IPFW is being introduced. One of the things too, you're talking about Ohio State's middles. Contrast that to IPFW's middles. The middles are going to have to step up.
Well, at Ohio State in their last meeting, both Mike Cummings and Angel Ruiz played exceptional volleyball at Ohio State. Mike Cummings had about 53%, he had 10 kills, and Angel had 13 kills, hit 45%, so the success is there to run the middle for IPFW against Ohio State's middles. They're going to have to distribute the ball. I think Chris Gislin is going to have to distribute the volleyball all around, and to establish the outsides, I think early might be beneficial because Ohio State is probably expecting Hector Soto, Scott Lane, Jeff Patak to see a lot of balls early. If Chris Gislin can get those guys on a roll early and then start shooting the ball to the middle, have a lot of success all the way around.
Now you're talking about Chris Gislin. He suffered a thumb injury, and you notice that as he's shaking hands with the Ohio State players that he is wearing a brace on that. How's Gislin's thumb?
It's sprained right now. I talked to him a couple days ago, and it doesn't bother him like it used to. I guess the first time it happened, it was in deep pain, but now just a little sprain, and his adrenaline should help him through it.
Outstanding. Let's take time out to recognize our sponsors. The telecast of this IPFW men's volleyball match is brought to you in part by Dairy Queen, Waterfield Mortgage, Fujifilm, Touchstone, Chestnut Group Incorporated, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Pizza Hut of Canterbury. We'll be back with more Mastodon volleyball action right after this. IPFW getting set to serve here. Scott Lane bouncing the ball in anticipation.
Scott Lane on Wednesday night broke the school record for service aces in a match. He had 7 against Lewis, breaking the old record of 6, once held by Justin Luna.
And serving is an important part of the men's game, is it not?
It's huge now, especially everybody up jump serving and banging the ball as hard as they can.
What sort of serving percentage are you going to want, for a team?
Well, IPFW in the first match at Ohio State, 38 service errors, no service aces. You want to get up to at least, as Esteves puts the ball away, you want to at least have an ace for every 3 errors, especially when you're jump serving.
Okay, Ohio State back to serve, flips it up for the jump. Nice pass by Jeff Pitak. Let's talk about passing there. Delivers the ball. What's he need to do to keep things going?
Jeff has got to move his feet. Last year's national co-rookie of the year winner has to move his feet and get his hands set and give a good pass to the target, Chris Gislin, so Chris can run the offense.
Combination play, sides out for Ohio State. Top spin service good. To the center, the quick middle, and that's the side out for IPFW.
So far, Chris Gislin running the middle there. 2 great sets to Angel Ruiz.
And running the middle is a little bit like establishing the running game in football.
That's right.
You want to get that middle going, then you can set it outside to your big gun, Hector Soto.
Keep your defense guessing.
Out of the back row, number 11, Chris Fosh. I think he likes to be called Fash. Official timeout there as the ball goes on the court. Esteves back to serve for Ohio State. Nice pass by Pitak. Outside to Pitak, and he sides out with a nice shot down the center.
See what happened there?
Cross-court hit, yep.
This time Chris Gislin setting the outside. Mike Cummings ran a quick there, and he held Colin McMillan, the big blocker for Ohio State, just a bit, and Pitak was able to hit it through the blockers.
Which is the key for Gislin. You want to get your hitters one-on-one with the blockers.
Exactly. Make it easy for the hitters to put the ball away to the floor.
We're going to see our first floater of the evening. And Pitak. Back to serve now is Pitak.
Ohio State has one of the more prolific offenses in the nation. They're ranked 1st in the country. They're hitting .400 as a team.
Great defensive effort by IPFW. Having to set it over, however, to keep the rally going. Out of the middle, Colin McMillan puts it away.
The big red Rashid right there, 6'9", middle blocker for Ohio State.
Service error there, Ohio State. And Todd Cummings back to serve now. Another float there. Important to change it up with the serves.
It is. Mike Cummings doesn't have a jump serve, at least a great one at that, to make one of the Ohio State Buckeye passers start missing balls, but it is good to mix it up, the float serve with the jump serve.
Is that float serve, though, effective? I mean, you've got these jump serves coming in at good velocity, and then you've got this float serve. Does it, are they able to handle it?
Well, at least that ball didn't go into the net like Colin McMillan just did, so you can't score when you serve the ball into the net or out of bounds.
Scott Lane with his jump serve. Combination play out of the middle. Great dig by the Librero.
Ooh.
Nice touches on the part of IPFW.
They've worked a lot on their defense lately. Coach Ball in the gym. They dug 50 balls in their first meeting. IPFW did against Ohio State.
Another great dig. Tit for tat there for Ohio State. And they score with the point.
Great dig by Chris Fast. They're reading Chris Gislin's dump attempt, sticking out the left hand, and Ohio State able to convert. Getting on the scoreboard at 1-0.
Passing that jump serve pretty well. Hector Soto with a little bit of an off speed. He's got a nice roll shot. They expect the bomb generally, but he gets that roll shot in there too.
When you're second in the country in hitting kills per game, everybody expects the heat, and Hector does have one of the better disguises with his unbelievable roll shot over top the block.
Good pass there for another combination play for Ohio State. And
there it
out
is.
of the backcourt, there's that roll shot out of the back row. Now Heraclios, the libero, coming up with two big digs there, and that's a point right there off that dig.
He's an amazing defensive player. I've had a chance to practice with him in practice. He touches almost every ball hit his way.
Here we go, combination again. Running with the play 3 times in a row, and that's a side out for Ohio State.
IPFW defensively, they're touching every ball. Ohio State running a combination. IPFW able to read it well. Scotty just missed controlling that ball.
Ohio State serving long. Side out IPFW. Back to serve now. Angel Ruiz. Does Angel have a heater? We'll find out right here.
It's under control.
It's under control.
Yeah.
Outside, Ohio State. Great pancake there to keep the ball alive. Outstanding defense on the part of IPFW. The crowd's going nuts. And we're looking at the down ref, and he says he got it.
Great play by Scott Lane. I don't think my mom makes pancakes that good. Wow. What a play, and IPFW gets the point.
And Ohio State's not arguing that. They saw it good, too. Another serve set, rather, to the outside. The joust at the net, and that falls in favor of IPFW. Chris Gislin making his presence known at the net.
Tell you how huge this match is. Not only is it for first place in the conference, but this is also for a little bit of respect. Ohio State last year beaten in the conference tournament by us, IPFW. So they want a little revenge, saying, hey, what happened at Columbus in January wasn't a fluke.
Rene Estevez back to serve. Tosses up the jumper. And that goes long for side out IPFW.
So far, 3 service errors for Ohio State. Perhaps a little bit of nerves playing on the road in front of this huge crowd for the Dons.
And we got Chris Gislin throwing up the jump serve. Top of the tape there. That's a side out for Ohio State. Angel Aja. Long approach there. Oh, he's got his floater going.
Nice pass.
Oh, Ohio State clamps that ball. They got 2 blockers on that.
Colin McMillan and Fash with the block. Colin tied for 9th in the nation in blocking.
And we got Hector Soto coming out of the back row. That's referred to as the pipe, is it not?
Yeah, the pipe set. Hector loves that shot. Goes against 3 blockers, which makes it even more difficult, and he's able to find a seam and put the ball to the floor.
And we got P-Tac with the jump serve, and that is served out of bounds. Side out Ohio State. Peter Ulrey flips it up. Gislin outside. Good location there. Nice dig by Ohio State, the libero there. And the back quick set converts. What do you think of Gislin's set selection there? He pretty solid as far as mixing it up?
So far, so good. He had the middle blockers guessing for Ohio State. Angel Ruiz running the quick. And that's what happens when you establish the middles early. You have the middle blockers running all over and guessing all over.
IPFW playing great defense, touching every ball. This is a heck of a rally right here. Out of the back row is Ulrey, and Ulrey is blocked. IPFW. Outstanding rally there. IPFW getting touches on the ball and the block, and then being able to, there was a great play by Hector Soto, almost ran into the bleachers to bring that ball back. Fans thought that was a lift. Didn't matter though. as IPFW slams the door on Ohio State there.
Another thing that Coach Ball has had the guys working on, and it's shown here tonight, they're blocking, touching every ball or stuff blocking a ball.
Side out Ohio State, Jose Rivera. Now, Jose Rivera is a left-hander. He's hitting on the left side. That's going against his body. Does it not explain the difficulty?
A little
there?
awkward because he has to wait for the ball to come because he's on the left side hitting with the left hand. So he has to wait for the ball to come, and that time Scotty Lane drifted past him thinking he was a right-handed hitter.
Scott Lane is dug. Little piece slowed it down. The block slowed it down. Hector Soto with a big shot, and that comes off the block. Ohio State still in, out of the pipe, and they sizzle one down. That's Ulrey. Ulrey with the big heat, and Cleos is unable to handle that one. Hector Soto, perfect pass, combination. 31 and the 2 in the middle there. Describe that now. You got the middle going out for a quick shoot set, and then you've got the second ball to Hector Soto with in the middle there.
Chris Gislin running the spread offense. Angel Ruiz running that spread fast tempo set, opening up the middle for Hector Soto to put the ball away.
And that's the side out for Ohio State off the block. Chris Fash back to serve. Another good pass there. Jeff Petak passing that. Hector Soto, big heat down the line.
And what's also helping Chris Gislin set the ball where he wants to is the passing is perfect so far between Jeff, Panos, and Hector.
Which allows him to run the full gamut of his offense. Hector Soto, high toss on his jump serve. He's been very effective with that serve. Out of the backcourt, Ohio State sides out. That's number 11, Chris Fash. And Jose Rivera getting set to bring in his jump serve. Out of bounds, side out IPFW.
So far, IPFW should be pleased with the way they're playing. Up 5-3 here in game one early.
Angel Ruiz serving out of bounds. That controlled jump serve. Not so controlled in that case.
Just missed by about 6 inches.
Another good pass, IPFW. Chris Lane. Ohio State playing good defense, not able to convert on that though. Chris Gislin back to serve. And good passing for Ohio State there. Although we have a touch off the block. So that's a side out for Ohio State.
You're going to see a lot of side outs here tonight. A lot of side outs.
Tit for tat so far. IPFW leading 5-3 over the Buckeyes. Combination there. Petak is blocked. Ball's kept alive. Outside to Chris Lane. And good defense by IPFW. One-handed set, actually pretty good there. Great stab at that by Aha. And he's able to keep the things rolling for Ohio State.
What I mean about a lot of side outs, the last time they played back on January 22nd at Columbus, 3 hours and 46 minutes of volleyball action.
A lot of hitters going in that one. So we're running the quick middle out of the front, the quick set out of the back, and then the cleanup hitter comes along, finish it off. And that's a service error there. IPFW side out the Buckeyes. Number 12, Peter Ulrey. Sporting the shaved dome.
Peter 14 in the MIVA conference and service aces with 14.
Hector Soto trying that roll shot, but the block was able to hang in the air just a little bit to get a hold of that.
Colin McMillan at 6'9", 6'10". He's got the long wingspan. Doesn't really have to hang. And there's a service ace, his 15th of the season.
Bringing the heat there is Peter Ulrey. Hector Soto unable to keep that one in play.
Overpass, look out.
Overpass. Not a whole lot of heat, but it was effective nonetheless. As Ohio State goes up 7-5 and IPFW calls a timeout. You're watching College 56. We'll be right back.
I really wanted to go for an Indiana University business degree.
But with housing and tuition, it really adds up, and the money just wasn't there to go away to college.
And with a 2-year-old, my housing options were kind of limited anyway.
And the truth is, I really wanted to keep my job and stay close to home.
Going to IPFW made all that possible.
IPFW? It's the best choice I ever made.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. The right school, right here, right now.
Welcome back, College 56. Jay Warren along with Ryan Perrott. We've got Ohio State Buckeyes leading the IPFW Volleyball 7-5. IPFW coming off a timeout there, trying to stop the flow.
Well, 2 errant passes in a row by IPFW. Coach Ball didn't like what he saw.
How much is that to, what's Coach Arnie Ball telling his players, that they don't already know? Pass the ball, right?
Just pass the ball. That's
okay,
right. Just
so
settle down, trying to get Peter Ulrey out of his serving rhythm.
Yep. Chris Gislin. There's a jump set, and he's able to get it far enough out to Hector Soto to get some swinging room there, and he sides out.
Back to serve, number 11, Mike Cummings.
Mike Cummings, the middle for IPFW, back to serve. And we got a timeout with the officials wiping off a little perspiration there. And we're back. Mike Cummings with the floater. Good defense once by IPFW, unable to hang it in twice. And that's a side out for the Buckeyes.
Jeff Patak was able to dig the first ball. Unfortunately, couldn't handle the second from Rivera.
Big Colin McMillan serves it into the center of the net. And he's replaced by the librero, Ross McLean. Back to serve for IPFW, Scott Lane. That's some heat right there. Tandem. And that is a side out for Ohio State with a big one coming out of the middle. Ohio State discussing the play. I don't know what they're worried about. They sided out.
Just making sure the refs are on their toes here tonight. Big match.
Another service error for Ohio State. So having a little bit of problems despite their 7-5 lead. Last couple serves have been into the net. Hector Soto back to serve for IPFW.
Players always want to chew on the officials a little bit, making sure that they're here, that they showed up tonight. Such a big match.
And Hector Soto bringing the heat, but the serve is going into the tape there. Back to serve for Ohio State, Jose Rivera.
Now this is what IPFW doesn't want to have. A lot of service errors. Put a lot of pressure on your side-out offense.
A little miscommunication there. Scott Gislin setting behind. But we've got Angel Ruiz going in front.
And now the point spread for Ohio State is because of IPFW's mistakes. A couple bad passes. Miscommunication set by Gislin.
Down the chimney there, though, we've got Jeff Petak able to crunch it through the block. And that's a side out for IPFW. And Angel Ruiz will toe the line, flips it up for his jump serve. An attempt at the quick back set to no avail, a little timing problem there, and that's a point for IPFW. And they trail the Buckeyes 6-8. Ulrey with the pass there out of the back row, and that's a side out Ohio State. Chris Fash hitting at opposite, and he's able to convert for the Buckeyes.
Chris Fash had a career day in Columbus against IPFW. 31 kills and 55 attempts.
Having a fairly good night so far. Heraclius with the pass. It's a good set That is a great set by Chris Gislin. Able to get it out there for P-Tac.
Serving number 10, Chris Gislin.
And he's rewarded with the serve.
Overpass.
But we've got Aha spinning around, able to get the block there. Pretty good athletic play.
He's a very athletic setter. All-conference player last year.
A little jump floater there. I don't know if that fooled anybody, though.
That's okay. He couldn't handle that heat by Patak right there. Jeff says, how about stuffing this ball? Patak has come alive the last couple of weeks for IPFW.
He's hit well now, and he's back for his jump serve.
Perhaps it's the new hairdo.
IPFW clamping Chris Fash. Chris Fash had nowhere to go on that one.
Huge stuff block by both Mike Cummings and Scott Lane, both penetrating their arms over the net. Ball landing before Fash did.
Big serve. And that's tough for Ohio State to control. They do get a hit on it, though. And it is long, however. And IPFW ties the match, ties the game at 8.
Of course, the rules in men's volleyball, anything off the ceiling you can play. Coach Ball was up wondering that was probably going into the crowd. Should have been called out of bounds.
Rules have changed a lot in volleyball the last couple of years. You can use your foot now. You can serve from anywhere behind the end line. A lot of that has to do with the beach game.
They want to make the men's volleyball scene a little longer. Get the rallies going a little longer.
Understood. You too can participate in the excitement of Mastodon athletics by joining the Royal Dons Athletic Association. The Royal Dons is IPFW's official athletic booster organization. Members enjoy benefits such as priority seating at IPFW sports events and food and refreshments in the hospitality room. For more information about the Royal Dons, call 219-481-6958 or write to Royal Dons Athletic Association 2101 East Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. Jay Warren along with Ryan Perrott, and we're looking at the cheerleading group brought in to help the fans get excited about this IPFW match, though I don't think they need any help.
They don't need any help at all, self-motivation. But back to the rule changes, as you mentioned before we took that little commercial, was anything to help men's volleyball, because these guys are pounding the ball away 80, 90, some hit over 100 miles per hour. Anything to get the rallies longer is beneficiary.
And they took a little bit of air out of the ball too.
At least from a fan's perspective, anyway. That's some of the players who've been around a while. Some of the rule changes they don't like.
They don't like.
But as we move into this new millennium, we'll all have to get used to it in some way.
Ohio State there gets the side out as a result of a serving error, and that's Ulrey bringing the jump serve. Nice pass by Erclius, and we've got Hector Soto with that off speed, able to side out cross court.
Serving wise, Ohio State serving almost every ball at Panos Erclius, trying to wear him down as the libero.
And he exits the game. Mike Cummings is in with his floater. Good pass there by Ulrey. And out of the right side is number 11 for the Buckeyes, Chris Fash. Chris Fash having a strong night. And we got that giant sequoia there by the name of Colin McMillan. Nice, quick Angel Ruiz with the side out for IPFW. What do they call that? That's a 31?
31, a little inside shoot where the middle attacker runs about 6 feet away from the setter, opening up a little gap so he can put the ball to the floor.
And tit for tat, Ohio State runs a similar play, and that nets them a side out.
Rene Esteves, third in the MIVA hitting percentage, hitting around 54%.
That shoot you want to run at the same speed as your quick middle, is that correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. Erclius, high pass, but that's... Chris Gislin's able to handle that and feeds it to Scott Lane, who's good for the side out. IPFW leads 9-8.
And when you're running those 31s or those little inside shoots, it makes the middle blocker, your defense, wait a little bit, have to adjust. That time Scotty hitting seam, putting the ball away.
Good touches by IPFW, unable to hang on though. When you say hitting the seam, what would you describe hitting the seam?
Seam is where the outside blockers are one-on-one with the blockers, and the middle blocker tries to come over. You preferably like to get 2 men up blocking. It's when the middle blocker's up just a little late. There's a little gap, a little seam.
Great sequence there. IPFW scrambling with an overpass. Chris Gislin's able to peel it away from the net. Pancake there by Hector Soto. Gislin nonchalantly sets Scott Lane, and he sides out. Aha with the dump. Perfect pass. You want to do that on a perfect pass.
That's his first attack of the night, and he's very active, likes to get himself involved. And of course, when you do that, you keep the defense guessing, especially when the setter's in the front row.
Hector Soto passes that ball high outside to Jeff Petak, and he converts for the side out. Dons lead 9-8. You're watching College 56, home to IPFW Volleyball action. Jay Warren along with Ryan Perrott, and we've got Chris Gislin tossing it up for the jump serve, and he scores an ace. Crowd approving of that. Chris Gislin brings the score to 10-8. And he will try to repeat the process. Going for the line that time, just out of bounds by about a foot. And that's a side out for the Buckeyes, and Aha is back to serve.
That was Gislin's 8th service ace of the season.
Hector Soto passing the ball pretty good, and he gets it out of that pipe. Although Buckeyes, and there's a pipe there too. Ohio State. Big hit on the part of Ulrey. Hector Soto tried to play the ball with the foot. We were talking about that. Led to no avail, and Aha is back to serve. Heraclius
another overpass.
Which is interesting because we've got Aha who's serving the float serve.
Well,
so he's obviously been able to mix it up.
That's right. When you receive jump serve after jump serve, you sort of get into that rhythm, and then with the change of pace with the float serve, your timing's just a bit off.
We're hearing the cry of Ohio State coach saying no, no, no on that off-speed hit, which he thought was probably going out of bounds.
Let's see, both teams now, we're tied at 10. Let's see who can get the extra push here to close out game one. Here's a chance to score.
In transition, and that's Hector Soto. Someone's in the net. And that's a point for the Dons. So they are able to convert in transition. So does he get credit for the kill, or is that a net?
Was a net violation called? No, so a kill. We'll give a kill to Hector.
High outside, Ohio State. And they're able to side out. That's Chris Fash going up for that one. Able to tool the block there. Out of the back is Jeff Petak hitting from the right side, and he goes cross court for the kill.
Great run there by Chris Gislin, running the double quick offense, holding both blockers for Ohio State. Jeff Petak, easy put away.
Nice dig there on the part of Petak.
Great set.
And Hector Soto going hard cross court with that one. Brings the Dons to 12-10.
Great play all the way around. Jeff Petak with an unbelievable high dig. Chris Gislin, that was an unbelievable set. The ball so high. Nectar over to Hector. Another dig by Petak.
That roll shot is picked up by Ohio State. High outside to Jose Rivera, and he is able to convert for the Buckeyes.
Angel Aha sticking out his left hand, reading the roll shot from Soto really well.
And a quick middle run by Gislin. Nets IPFW is side out. Scott Lane back to serve for the Dons.
Angel Ruiz, a lot of success so far in tonight's match. Tough serve.
Service problems for, serve reception problems for Ohio State. And there's a net violation called on IPFW, and that's going to be a side out for Ohio State. Ball's bouncing around the side of the court, and we're back on.
Service error.
So after that wait, we've got a service error, and IPFW gets the side out. Hector Soto back stepping, and he looks a little ticked off there. What happens when Hector Soto gets angry?
Starts pressing himself. He wants the ball every time.
We're going to bring the heat here probably.
He does, and it's just long. IPFW up 12-10 now.
And Jose Rivera back to serve. Big serve by Rivera, and that forces an overpass, and that is out of bounds. Service ace, Rivera.
Problem that IPFW had Wednesday night against Lewis. They were up big in the first game. I believe they're up 14-8. They ended up losing game one. They have to get that killer instinct to try to put away the teams, especially when they got the lead, 12-10. So that violation on Ohio State.
Net violation number 12, Peter Ulrich.
It's not an easy task when you're playing the Buckeyes to put them away.
From the opposite position, Ohio State is shut down.
Great block by Protect and Cummings there.
Jose Rivera getting blocked and now wants the floor wiped. Sweating a little bit, seeing the big hands of IPFW's block.
A lot of perspiration. These guys working very hard. You see the towels out a lot, wiping up any perspiration on the floor.
Angel Ruiz back to serve from his favorite location there, almost to the opposite side of where they used to have the serving zone. And entering the game for Ohio State, number 4, Tom Trantow, his first entrance, and he'll replace Rene Esteves, who's marching his way down the end of the bench. Tom Trantow floating it in there, making sure he gets it. Trying to thread the needle and unable to do so.
He's in for defensive purposes, and I'm sure Coach Hansen from Ohio State thinking one substitution too late as he serves that ball wide.
Touches the call there off the block, and that's side out for the Buckeyes.
Our head official, Eric Buhlmann, on top of that call, as IPFW is up 13-11 here in game one.
A little bit better pass there on the part of Soto. Scott Lane, however, is blocked, and that's a point for the Buckeyes. Buckeyes trying to keep this thing close and then try to march ahead. They're down 12-13. A little jump floater there. Good pass, however, on the part of Jeff Petak. That is blocked by Ohio State and goes off Petak's head. Point Ohio State, and Coach Arnie Ball with the Dons calls timeout. Bring IPFW head men's volleyball coach Arnie Ball into your home each Wednesday and Thursday evening this season. Arnie joins assistant coach Mark Franke to review the Mastodons' progress, discuss the highlights, meet with players, and look ahead to upcoming volleyball action. Tune into the Arnie Ball Show Wednesday evenings at 9 and Thursday evenings at 7 right here on College 56. Little look in the crowd there, waving their kill. So there's Coach Arnie Ball He's not even talking to the players. He's just slowing things down, it looks like.
He's telling the guys to settle down a little bit. We're tied at 13. We'll get a good pass. Run something and put the ball to the floor. In plain English.
13-13. Ohio State back to serve. We got Angel Aja flipping up that little jump floater of his. Hector Soto passing that, no problem. And out of the pipe, Soto comes. And he's called for stepping on the 10-foot line. Hector Soto stepping on the 10-foot line, that's a violation.
When you're in the back row and you're going to attack the ball, you have to be behind that 10-foot line. Game point now for Ohio State.
Side out, Jeff Petak. How much of that is Chris Gislin's problem for setting Soto too far in front of the 10-foot line?
I think that was just, he's probably about a toe over the line. So it's something they work on in practice a lot. So you won't see that a lot out of IPFW at all here tonight.
Ohio State having to pass the ball over the net. At the same time, IPFW unable to pass that little gift over to Chris Gislin, and that's a side out for Ohio State.
Back to serve game point, number 12, Ulrey.
And Ulrey is back to serve for the Buckeyes, serving for the match.
Believe it or not, behind us we have a huge Ohio State Buckeye following here. About 2,500 people or so.
And they're aware of the significance of the match as well. That's Ulrey scrambling for that pass. And there's a lift called on Angel Aja. So he tried to drag that off the net, and he's called for a mishandled ball. Mike Cummings, go ahead.
Tight call whenever you call a hand throw, but that was clearly one. Oh.
However, Mike Cummings unable to use that. They did get that point. And he exits the match, and we've got Heraclius back in, the libero. Into the game for the Buckeyes, Rene Esteves, and he replaces Tom Trantow. Jeff Petak tight. Gislin able to peel it off the net. Scott Lane able to convert on that one.
And Scotty back to serve, second best server in the MIVA. He's got 25 aces this year. See if he can break the 14-14 tie.
Big. Not quite enough though. Goes hard but hits the top of the tape, and that's a side out for the Buckeyes. Hector Soto with a perfect pass. He swings outside, big heat, but he's dug by the libero of Ohio State. And they have to roll it over to keep themselves in the rally. Hector Soto again down the line.
Whoa.
Libero Heraclius comes up with the ball. Change it up a little bit. Goes to the back row, and Scott Lane, Chris Gislin, spreading the ball around. Hitting him hard with Hector Soto, and then finishing it off with Scott Lane.
A couple fantastic digs there in the backcourt by Ohio State. Chris Gislin. A couple sets to Hector, and then he said, let's go backside to Scott Lane, see if we can stop him.
14-14 Dons. Hector Soto with the serve. He serves out of bounds. I believe that's about two in a row. Rivera and his version of the jump serve. Now that hits the top of the tape.
Serving number 12. Angel Ruiz.
And IPFW middle, Angel Ruiz.
Both teams not holding anything back on the jump serve. That's why there's a lot of service errors.
Ulrey getting up for that one. And he scores side out, cross court. Into the game for the Buckeyes, Colin McMillan. Petak having problems with that ball. And a hitting error, touch, no touch.
Esteves going to the float serve there. Jeff just a little off on the pass. Third opportunity now for Ohio State to win game one.
Serving for the match. Out of the pipe, Hector Soto, and he converts. Go to the money man. Chris Gislin back to serve. Dons down 14-15, trying to stay in game one.
Wow. Having serving difficulties, especially this late in a game. Not going to be able to win.
There's that little jump float. That one's passed well.
Oh, what an up. And it lands in.
No talk back there. And Ohio State wins game one, 16-14. And both sides changing their location on the court. You're watching College 56, your source for IPFW men's volleyball. We'll be right back.
To go for an Indiana University business degree.
But with housing and tuition, it really adds up, and the money just wasn't there to go away to college.
And with a 2-year-old, my housing options were kind of limited anyway.
And the truth is, I really wanted to keep my job and stay close to home.
Going to IPFW made all that possible.
IPFW? It's the best choice I ever made.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. The right school, right here, right now.
Crackhead, drug dealer, street hustler, gang member. All kicked out of the community with the help of kids
Like me.
Me.
Us.
You can make a difference. We have the power to help prevent crime. Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out what you can do in your community.
It's time we're judged by
What we do.
not how we look.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gates Sports Center on the campus of Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. This is Jay Warren along with Ryan Perrott. We're bringing you men's volleyball of the highest caliber at IPFW as the IPFW Volleyball Volleydons are taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Buckeyes able to capture game one, the score of 16-14. And as we are showing you a replay there, Ohio State bring the heat against IPFW, one of the rallies there of game one. And you see Hector Soto converting, however, for naught as the Buckeyes take game one. And kill is a good word.
Checking over the first game statistics, Jay. Both teams pretty even for most part. Ohio State hitting 42%, IPFW 43%. Digs 16 for IPFW, 12 for Ohio State. Blocks are tied at 9. The service errors, Ohio State 11 service errors with 2 service aces. IPFW 2 service aces, 14 service errors, and that was the problem for them the latter part of game one. They weren't able to put Ohio State away when they had the lead. 3 consecutive service errors blew their chances.
Ohio State will serve up game two. And back for the Buckeyes is number 3, Jose Rivera. What does IPFW have to do now, game two, to get going here?
Got to start passing the ball a little bit better. I think it was a smart play by Ohio State to have some of the guys start float serving. IPFW standing back, expecting the top spin jump serve. They can start passing the ball well and start serving tough and aggressively, but keeping the ball in the court. They have a chance of winning this game.
Mike Cummings puts it in play for IPFW, but out of the middle, Rene Esteves brings the heat on the quick play.
But not that easy on Mike Cummings' serve there. Great pass from Ohio State. They're able to run the middle.
Good pass there. However, unable to convert is Scott Lane. And Ohio State there cheering their good fortune. Big serves on the part of Ohio State here. And out to a quick start. Ohio State jumping up to 2-0. And rocking the ball there is Renee Esteves, who's bringing the serve.
Ohio State clearly has the momentum here. IPFW's body language not good to start here in game 2.
Big dig. P-tack out of the pipe, and that's brought up by Ohio State. Hector Soto, however, has something to say about that and sides out down the line for IPFW.
I think IPFW perhaps a little bit dejected after losing game 1.
Scott Lane down the line. Ulrey picks it up. A little off speed there. P-tack out of the pipe, and the net is called on Ohio State.
Shot there by Jeff, his 10th kill tonight. Nice up by Scott Lane there.
Chris Gislin delivering the ball nicely. Outside, a little miscommunication there. Aha sets outside, and Ulrey is in too close.
But all started with a great tough serve by Scott Lane there. Ohio State having difficulty passing the spinner up the line. There's a better pass.
And the quick middle. And that's ruled in.
Angel Aha loves to run the middle. Both Esteves and McMillan hitting over 50% on the season. Two of the best middles in the country.
Jeff P-tack out of the pipe, and he converts side out IPFW. Soto gets ready to flip up his topspin. Off speed there, though, is gathered up. Good dig by Soto. Gislin all he can do to bring it in, and Scott Lane hits it long.
It's a tough play for Scotty there. The bump set by Gislin going over his head. He had to jump back and try to spin it into the corner. Just wide.
2 serving 2. Angel Ruiz is good for the kill there out of the middle. Heraclius exits the game, and Cummings is in to do his part up front.
Angel's 6th kill in 8 attempts. He's having a very good game here for IPFW.
Ball on, that's a ankle buster. Aha.
Woo!
Aha. Great double block on the part of Cummings, and P-tack able to shut down the opposite for Ohio State.
Huge block by Jeff P-tack there, reading the opposite while slam blocking it to the floor.
Hector Soto using his athleticism to keep the ball in play. Another great play on the part of Ruiz. That ball touched. Great defense on the part of IPFW. A little glimpse of what they were doing in game 1.
That's what they need to do to be successful. Ohio State complaining, thinking that dig by Ruiz was a lift. The referee didn't call so, and IPFW 4 straight points now.
Going back to the opposite. He remembers getting clamped the first time and hits long the second time. And it's a timeout for the Buckeyes. Don's going to timeout at 5-2. Learn more about Mastodon sports in season by tuning into the Mastodon Spotlight each Tuesday and Wednesday evening on College 56. Host Mike Moz reviews the week's sports activities, looks at game footage, and talks with the coaches on the program. That's Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. right here on College 56. Jay Warren along with Ryan Perrott. And another quick shot at those cheerleaders trying to keep this crowd going. But they've got a good thing going right now at 5-2, rooting for their Dons.
how funny this game is. A game of momentum. Ohio State scores the first 2 points of this game. It looked like they kept the momentum from game 1. And then IPFW just comes out and 5 straight points. Now the thing is, if IPFW can maintain what they've established here in game 2 and push for 15 points to win.
Angel Ruiz is called on to serve. A tough pass there. However, the middle for Ohio State. Big Colin McMillan able to follow his setter over to the left side and put that quick back set away.
Colin McMillan out of Burlington, Wisconsin with the jump serve.
That's a big one too. However, Heraclius passes it no problem. Scott Lane out of the backcourt.
Scott Lane's 8th kill tonight.
Chris Gislin back to serve, and Scott Lane moves his way to the front row.
This is such a highly competitive match that just the little slightest, there's an overpass.
And Scott Lane going hard. Ohio State unable to hang on to that one.
Just the slightest mistake, as I was about to say, will cost you, and that's just what happened there for Ohio State.
And the Dons are rewarded with a 6-2 score here in game 2.
Lots of room.
Great defense on both sides. IPFW out of transition, and they're able to convert out of the pipe. But a great play before that as Chris Gislin comes flying over outside, back sets to keep the play in motion.
He was coming at full speed. He almost ran into us. It was a great athletic back set by Chris, and Hector Soto able to put the ball to the floor.
Chris Gislin, though, still thinking about his great play and puts the ball into the center of the net.
Both these teams very athletic. It's great to watch these guys play.
Buckeyes serve is long, and Jeff Petak. Little shot there of Ulrich's Chrome Dome. And a tandem. That's effective for Ohio State. We haven't seen that in
Haven't
game
seen
2.
that in a while. Their passing is broken down a little bit early. Haven't seen much of the combination plays from Ohio State. When they run it, they're very effective. IPFW have to honor both McMillan and Estevez in the middle.
So if you're the middle blocker and you see the middle attacker commit, you go up with them, or what do you do?
Well, it depends on the strategy. If you're commit blocking, you want to jump with the middle attacker. But if you're read blocking, which is IPFW is doing right now, wait, look where the ball is going to be attacked, whether it's going to be the first guy or the second guy, and hopefully get a hand on it.
So you're looking at the ball in essence.
Ball in the man, yeah.
Hector Soto getting way up there, tries to go an extreme cut, and that goes out of bounds. Buckeyes get a point out of that, and they are serving 4-7. IPFW's Dons leading the match in game 2. IPFW actually down in the match a game. They lead in game 2, and they side out. Cummings back to serve. Ruiz up to the front.
Nice serve there by Cummings.
And a little broken play there by Ohio State. Some bodies running into each other. That's good for Hector Soto, who crunches a good set by Chris Gislin. And IPFW is back on a roll at 8-4.
Great serve by Mike Cummings up the line. Aha with a trouble set.
Well, that's an outside set to Ulrich, and he's a little upset with his setter, Aha. 9-4 Dons. Cummings back to serve. That floater of his has netted him 2 points now. Big hit from the opposite Ohio State, and that's a side out.
Serving number 8, Rene Estevez.
And there's a combination to Hector Soto, and his shot is good for a side out.
Great pass there by Hector. IPFW settled down now. They're up 5, 9-4.
Hard work passing that ball and getting outside to finish it off.
Especially with Estevez serving. He's mixed it up with his jump serve and his float serve, so you don't know which one is coming.
Now we've got Eric Cleos getting in the way of Jeff Pitek there. Whose ball is that?
Oh yeah,
Whoever can get it.
Yeah, Cleos can dig a ball in like a 2-mile radius, so he thinks every ball is his.
So he's like the center fielder there.
It's a great effort though.
Yeah.
Just getting in the way of Jeff Pitek, who probably had the easier play at it.
Scott Lane getting a tough ball there because of the overpass. Chris Gislin trying to get it to him. Ohio State serving the Dons. Dons lead 9-5 here in game 2, down 1 game.
Here's what you don't want to happen now. 2 points in a row for Ohio State. IPFW, they have to be smart here. Easy pass, get a set. I mean, this is a tough serve. It's a deep float serve. It's landing short, but something that so Chris Gislin can set at.
Tough pass there. Gislin goes to the pipe, and Jeff Pitek meets 3 blockers. And Arnie Ball calls a timeout as the Dons lead game 2, 9-7, down 1 game to 0. What am I doing? Be sure to tune in to College 56 Sundays at noon and Friday evenings at 8 when host Melissa Long visits with IPFW business and management faculty Rasad Binji, Joseph Kamala, and Jim Moore to get an in-depth look at e-commerce and how it may affect you or your business in the future. That's Sundays at noon and Fridays at 8 p.m. for IPFW Up Close right here on College 56. Arnie Ball talking to Chris Gislin. Talk about Arnie Ball getting in the player's space there. What's he? Obviously has a message trying to get him to fire up and get going.
Well, what he's telling Chris Gislin is there was a tight low pass on the last exchange by Hector Soto, and he tried to run the middle there. Jammed Angel Ruiz, got clamped, and then Jeff Pitek just got clamped. What he's trying to tell Chris is, hey, you got to get the guys an opportunity to hit. Yeah, there's a bad pass. Try not to do too much with it. Just it's a net violation there on Hector Soto. Just try to get the players something that they can hit at. Let's run the offense smartly.
Ohio State getting a point there. Don's still up 9-8, but the Buckeyes are making a run here. And they stay in this rally off the Scott Lane hit. Hector Soto with a nice dig. Chris Gislin firing it up for Hector Soto. And there's a net called on Ohio State. Side out Dons.
IPFW giving up points in groves. Up 9-5, now 9-8.
Getting back to the Gislin issue, so in a sense he's forcing those sets.
Oh, the one set to Ruiz was a forced set. You got to work with what you have, and when the passing isn't there, you don't want to try to force anything. Just give it up to one of the players, perhaps Scotty out of the back row or high left side, something that they can swing at.
Hector Soto's serve is long. Side out Buckeyes, and Ulrey.
There's a great pass.
Yeah, great pass on Pitek, and Chris Gislin takes advantage of that for a dump kill.
Chris Gislin said, just shut up, Ryan, and let me just kill the ball myself. I don't know how to send anybody. But that's the thing. When you got a great pass like that, there's so many options open, and when you don't have a good pass, you're going to have to think of what you're going to be doing. You don't want to force and make errors.
To the opposite, Chris Fash, and he's able to convert on that one. Angel Aja feeding Fash the ball.
Fash now in double digits in kills here tonight. Both teams hitting around 400 for the match.
Heraclius with a good pass. Pitek getting up, and he scores cross court. Ohio State unable to hang on to that one.
Okay, here we go. Come on now. Come on now, take the ball.
Gislin served down the line.
Nice
Heraclius out of the pipe. Hector Soto faces a triple block. That ball is kept in play. Pitek from the outside. That ball is dug. Cummings made a look. He got crossed up. Scott Lane with the heat from the opposite side.
What defense by the Buckeyes.
And a solo block by Cummings, who redeems himself for not hitting that overpass.
I saw Coach Johnson jump out of his chair, chomping on the bit for that overpass. Mike Cummings looked like he was going to hit it, gave the little flinch. Thank goodness Iacleus was right there to pick it up.
And that can freeze his defensive players, too.
Yes, it did. And thank goodness Iacleus was there to play the ball. Great point for IPFW. Tip.
Don't see a lot of tips, but that's pretty effective when these guys are bombing away. You change it up there with that tip.
IPFW's defenders back on their heels, expecting the hard blast. Tip shot worked effectively for Ohio State.
P-Tech with the pass, kind of tough. Gislin able to get a pretty decent set out of it. Going down to the knees. Pass sets that ball, but Scott Lane hits it long. So the hitting error nets Ohio State a point. Chris Fash back to serve for the Buckeyes. Tough serve. Jeff P-Tech getting inside the middle blocker, and he goes cross court for the side out.
Nice set there by Chris Gislin. What Ohio State has done now with their serving very tough with both their jump serve and their float serve, negating the opportunity for IPFW to run a lot of middle as they were doing early in game one.
Ulrey, a good pass for the Buckeyes. And we've got Rivera for the Buckeyes. Hector Soto going up. Ohio State staying in it. Big hit. Heraclius with a big dig. Was that Cummings tried to poke that up, or was that Gislin tried to get a hold of that?
Cummings tried to get a hold of it, kept it in play. Great reaction dig by Heraclius there, sticking out his left hand. Now we're tied at 10. There's a better pass.
One-on-one. Mike Cummings, however, is blocked with a quick middle attempt. And the Buckeyes lead 11-10 here in game two. They also lead the match 1-0. Heraclius with a good pass. High and outside to Hector Soto going big. And off the block, that's Ulrey with the kill. Timeout. Arnie Ball and the IPFW Volleyball. We'll be right back.
I wanted to study engineering so I could get a better job without giving up the job I've already got.
Of course, getting a degree without going into debt was pretty high on my list, too.
And I wanted the kind of education that I could only get in smaller classes with the professor's full attention.
IPFW offered me all of that. And the Purdue engineering degree is going to look pretty good on my resume.
Going to IPFW is the best choice I ever made.
IPFW, the right school, right here, right now.
Source for IPFW Volleyball. This is Jay Warren along with Ryan Perrott. Ohio State University leading the IPFW Volleyball 12-10 in game two. They lead the match 1-0. We were just talking, Ryan, during the break. You mentioned Ohio State playing some serious defense.
Ohio State, the reason why they've taken the lead, they're standing back and digging a lot of balls, touching a lot of balls, and able to convert. They've always been known for that. Coach Pete Hansen and his troops always dig a lot of balls. There's another one.
Handball defense, Ohio State. Barely got the ball over the neck. Hector Soto staunches the flow on the overpass. Mike Cummings, go ahead.
What happens is, as we saw it earlier with IPFW, when they started digging a lot of balls, it became contagious, and everybody started doing it. Now Ohio State, the exact same thing, sticking out an arm, a leg, anything, and everybody now has the feeling that we can dig every single ball.
The slow shoot to the outside, netting Ohio State the side out there, hard cross court.
Let's see what IPFW now is made of. They're down 12-10 here in game 2.
And that serve is long on the part of Ohio State. Scott Lane storming back there, ready to go. And over here, Coach Arnie Ball encouraging his guys to play defense.
Well, if they want to get back in this game, they're going to have to start blocking balls like they were doing in game 1, digging a lot of balls and converting. I mean, it's not just one thing to dig a ball, but you have to convert as well.
Going to the money man, Hector Soto, and he gets a hold of it, but Ohio State called on the net violation. So that's a side out for IPFW. Hector Soto rewarded with the ball, and he is going the way of the float serve.
Hector, a lot of success last week against Ball State with the float serve.
Angel Ruiz getting a hold of that quick middle. Quick dig there, Gislin. Scott Lane on the back row. Unable to convert though. I thought I heard a touch there, yes. Trying to decide now if there was a touch, but there is a touch being called here.
Assistant coaches Lisa Horman and Dennis Johnson up. Chris Gislin over now to talk to Eric Bullman, but he has none of it. He's going to give it to Ohio State.
Well, I'll tell you what, I agree with the line judge, but he is overruled by the up official. That's his prerogative. A little trouble there for Ohio State, but they almost put it away. Jeff Petak having to go off speed. There is a net called on Ohio State, and that's good fortune for IPFW. Mike Cummings in, Heraclius out. Angel Ruiz into the center of the net. Side out, Buckeyes.
Same thing in game 1 when IPFW needed some points. Started to serve service errors.
Colin McMillan returns the favor though. Into the net. Chris Gislin trying to get folks together there. We got a shot of Ulrey dusting off, ready to go. And there's Chris Gislin.
The crowd buzzing. They want something exciting to happen for IPFW. Ohio State, though, answers with a quick side out.
Serving number 11, Chris Betts.
And Chris Fash, little dribble, little flip, and he brings his jump serve. Perfect pass. Hector Soto is dug up there. The ball is played that was going out, it looked like. Side out Buckeyes, and they go up in game 2, 13-10. Do or die now for the Dons here in game 2.
Well, it's almost a must-win game 2. You don't want to go down 2-0 to the Buckeyes. But you're on your home floor, so you never know what can happen. They just need a spark. They need something good to happen. Here's an overpass.
Hector Soto getting a couple cracks at it. Solo block on the part of Mike Cummings. Chris Gislin setting Hector Soto twice there, going to the money man. Where does that ball need to be in transition?
Well, that time, another overpass, a little flinch there by Mike Cummings again. He's had another opportunity to hit a couple overpasses to put away to the floor. But for Hector Soto to get the ball in transition, something high and that he can swing at. Here's another chance for Hector against 2 blockers. See ya.
Great set on the part of Petak. Little broken play there, but they're able to put the attack on the ball. And the Dons get closer, serving 12-13 here in game 2.
What makes Hector so dangerous is because when it's in crunch time, he just elevates his game a little more. Proves why.
Putting the pressure on.
Nice dig.
Great dig. Well, quick action defense on the part of IPFW. Scott Lane tried to finish it off to barely get it over, unable to do so.
You see what's happened, the little spark that Hector Soto has given the guys. Now the defensive end for both the guys, Jeff Patak, Hector Panos, Irakleos, they're all touching balls, they're all digging balls. Now they've crept their way into a one-point game.
Nice set on the part of Chris Gislin. The one hand able to peel it off the net. And Mike Cummings hearing it from the crowd.
Cummings annihilating that great one-handed set by Gislin.
Buckeyes able to convert. Net called on the Dons. Side out, Ohio State. Got a substitution for Ohio State. And once again, Tom Trantow enters the game. And he's going to get the ball in place of Rene Esteves. Trantow going with the floater. Keep it safe. And Hector Soto going high hands and sides out for the Dons.
Nice serve by Scotty.
Putting the pressure on Ohio State. Great set on the part of Aha.
Chance to tie.
Hector Soto had to wait forever on that. Jeff Petak putting up a great set to the net, almost into the rafters, and Hector Soto goes high and down the line.
Got to be able to handle the ball, even if you're not a setter. Great set there by Jeff Patak. Another great dig.
Hector Soto converting. Great defense on the part of the Dons in transition. Timeout, Ohio State. The Dons up 14-13 here in game 2. You'll want to be sure to tune in to College 56 next Friday evening to hear Minnesota Supreme Court Justice and former Minnesota Viking Alan Page present his convictions about the importance of mentoring youth. Justice Alan Page speaking as an omnibus lecturer next Friday, March 10th at 10:30 p.m. right here on College 56.
Hector Soto has taken over here in the latter stages of game 2. A couple smart kills by Hector Soto, but the guys playing defense behind him. And then on that last play, just pulling the string with the roll shot over top the
and Ohio State
block.
expecting the bomb, and they get the grenade instead. IPFW fans on their feet as Scott Lane gets ready to serve for game 2. Lane with the heater down the line. Outside to Ulrey. Ulrey is blocked. Good dig by Ohio State. Ulrey with the off-speed. Pancake attempt by Hector. And that's a side out for Ohio State. So Ulrey getting blocked the first time and then changing it up for the side out the second time.
Sharp, radical angle, little roll shot. Trickled over the net and able to fall in front of Hector Soto.
Hector Soto clutching his chest after banging down on the hardwood floor here. Got to sell yourself up for that ball.
Got the wind knocked out of him a little bit there, going for the pancake dig. Deep floats are now coming from Angel. Aha.
Petak, perfect pass. Hector Soto up high. And Ohio State comes with a dig. Triple block there. Heraclius digging the ball, but that goes over. His momentum, I think, might have carried that ball over. Cross court. That's a kill for the Buckeyes. And Ohio State ties game 2, 14-14. Already leading the match, 1-0.
Panos in good position for the dig, just had it slip off his arms.
They're going to Soto now. Gislin feeding Soto every time.
And Ohio State is reading that. They're loading up both McMillan and Fash to the outside. Chris Gislin, perhaps now that Hector's in the back row, will use Scotty Lane and Jeff Patak. Soto with the float serve.
And Ulrey coming around the right side. He hits down the line out of bounds. That's a point for the Dons. The Dons are serving 15-14 for game 2. Hector Soto floating it in. Combination play for Ohio State. We haven't seen that. We've seen that but twice, I think, here in game 2, and that gets them side out.
And it worked again because they've established the middles already in the process of the game, and IPFW's middle blocker. That time, Chris Gislin blocking middle went up with Colin McMillan.
Hector Soto out of the pipe, and he's able to convert. Mike Cummings into the game. Eric Cleos out. Angel Ruiz back to serve, and again, the Dons 15-14 serving for the game 2. Big hit, number 11, Chris Fash for Ohio State, side out Buckeyes.
Chris Fash quiets the crowd. Solid swing out of the right side.
We got a double substitution for Ohio State. Into the game for Ohio State is Estevez. And I didn't catch the other one. Greg Lehman. Scott Lane gets it from the back row, and that's a kill for Lane.
Nice set there by Chris Gislin, getting away from Hector Soto. All the Ohio State blockers following him in the back row. Chris setting back to Scotty Lane, who puts it away.
And the crowd's starting to pound the bleachers here. Good. Ohio State and the likes of Chris Fash able to quiet the crowd.
Great pass there by the Ohio State Buckeye. Hard topspin jump serve by Chris Gislin. He used his hands that time. The new rules say you can.
Fash with the jump serve. Overpass. Well, that's called a back row block, I believe, on the part of Chris Gislin.
Here's where it gets dangerous for IPFW. This is where they have to learn how to close out teams. They had a couple chances to win game 2. Now we're tied at 15.
Pushing it back for Jeff Patak is Chris Gislin. And Patak is able to convert on that. Nice back set on the part of Gislin. 15-15 Dons.
Jeff in jump serve posture.
Inside, Scotty.
Combination.
Another X play. Smart setting by Aha right there. He knows the middle blockers are jumping with the first attacker, so he keeps setting the second, and that time Rivera smashing it to the floor.
Serving is Rivera, and a service ace for Rivera as Jeff Patak unable to bring that one into play.
Tough serve from Rivera because he's left-handed and he's standing into the middle of the court with the jump serve. Inside out, Jeff Patak misread it. Got the service ace for Ohio State, and now Ohio State up 16-15, a chance to go up here 2-0.
And a reversal of fortune for the Dons here. The crowd has significantly quieted. To the money man, Hector Soto is dug. Again, Soto, and he is blocked. Ohio State going nuts right now as they go up 2-0, winning game 2. You're watching College 56, your source for IPFW volleyball.
I'm Walter Bowman, Director of Athletics at IPFW. Thank you for joining us this evening and allowing me 60 seconds of your time. Since August of this academic year, you have both read and heard of our drive for Division I status. The Executive Board of the Royal Dons Athletic Association, our associates in Business 100, and hundreds of constituents like yourself have all joined together with a single purpose, Division I athletics for you and the Fort Wayne community. At present, we are exploring many possibilities for potential conference affiliation, along with expanding the base programs offered. Recently, the faculty approved the addition of men and women's indoor and outdoor track, bringing our offerings to 16 varsity programs. I believe that when we are an NCAA Division I program, each of you watching this television program tonight will have an opportunity to view firsthand the Hoosiers, Boilermakers, and the Fighting Irish here in Fort Wayne and at the Coliseum and at the university. In order to move our vision from the dream stage to reality, we need to continue to attract strong alumni and community support. Fort Wayne, the second largest city in the state, is deserving of a Division I program which reflects the community's greatness. Together, you and I are positioned to form an alliance which will give the citizens of Northeast Indiana even more reason to show our Hoosier pride. The number on the screen will provide you the opportunity to become involved in Mastodon excitement. Pick up your phone and call me so we can discuss your involvement.
She is one of America's toughest drug enforcement agents. Last year, she helped convict 90 drug dealers, seize several tons of crack and marijuana, and close down 10 major drug operations. She is a 68-year-old grandmother named Irma. She set up a community drug watch that is not only changing her neighborhood, but its future. There are many ways to help in your community. Call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
On the big highway of life, there's only one safe place for kids. Back seat, baby. The front seat's not the place to drop out. Don't want that big old bag to pop out. Back seat, baby. Put that booties in the back seat. Back seat, baby. Have action kids you never meet. I'm here to remind you to put them behind you. Back seat, baby. Wow, look at here. Back seat, baby. To stay alive even when I drive.
I'll take Simmons.
Yeah. Give me Jones.
Anderson.
Smith.
Lightfoot.
Bishop.
Hernandez.
Swifka.
Harris.
Lavenger.
Peavy.
Yes.
In the game of life, you've got a much better chance at getting picked for a cool job with great pay if you take algebra, geometry, and calculus. You need to know how math can improve your future. Demand it. Call NACME. We'll tell you.
We're back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of Indiana University. Purdue University at Fort Wayne. This is Jay Warren along with Ryan Perrott. IPFW Volleyball down 2-0 in their match with Ohio State. And for Ohio State, the hitting of Ulrey, Fash, and Rivera coming alive.
They sparked Ohio State and then the last game, game 2. Ohio State not really running a lot of middle, although that time Colin McMillan gets a kill. Jose Rivera now had 4 kills in the last game. Chris Fash had 5. Peter Ulrey had 7. So Angel Aja went away from the middle. As we mentioned, he ran a lot of combinations setting the second man. They were able to put the opening away.
0-0 game 3. And a net called on Ohio State. Side out Dons. Scott Lane back to serve.
In that last game, Ohio State had 2 service aces to their 4 service errors. IPFW, no service aces that last game, but 4 service errors.
A hitting error there for Ohio State. And number 11, Chris Fash, point Dons, 1-0. Overpass there on the part of Ulrey. Chris Gislin tries to dump. That isn't fooling anybody at that time. Net on the part of Angel Ruiz.
IPFW have to limit their errors. They're killing themselves. In the last game, that service ace at the end of the game. A little miscommunication on top of the hitters.
Tough serve. Great play by Gislin to pull that ball out of the net. Heading down to the floor. But to no avail. Foch really putting the pressure on the passing game of IPFW.
Yeah, credit to Ohio State because they're serving really tough right now. IPFW, though, should have adjusted by now. Game and a half, but they're still having difficulties passing.
High and up to Scott Lane. and net called on Ohio State.
Lane's 13th kill tonight. IPFW just has to sustain their momentum when they have the leads in games.
Hector Soto going with the high percentage floater. And Jose Rivera bringing his attempt into the center of the net. That's a point for the Dons. What do you think of Soto going to the floater here? He's obviously changed his approach there to go a lot more conservative, just get the ball in.
Get the ball in, serving tough. A couple overpasses though for Ohio State.
IPFW having to free ball the ball to Ohio State. They get a free shot at it, and they are able to kill.
Just a little different look for Hector with the float serve. When you're not serving a lot of aces, now you want to pick spots, pick a person to serve at, hopefully wear him down. That's what IPFW is trying to do, hopefully, in this game to get themselves back.
Again, tough serve there on the part of Rivera. Hector Soto, a little overpass there. Gislin tried to bring it back, and Scott Lane unable to do something.
When you're not serving well, it puts a lot of pressure. I mentioned this earlier. It puts a lot of pressure on your side-out offense. And right now, IPFW having a little difficulty siding up against the pressure of Ohio State.
And Scott Lane with the hitting error. Ohio State serving 3-2, and that's a net serve. Side out Dons.
Back to serve number 12, Angel Ruiz.
There you see a picture of Scott Lane ready to go. Angel Ruiz. And Ulrey from the outside with his kill. Rene Esteves back for the Buckeyes.
And credit Esteves because I think he's the one who got the serving momentum for Ohio State going. He was the spark plug. He went back, instead of jump serving, if you remember back at the end of game one, he went to the float serve, handcuffed, attacked a little bit, and then they started to roll from that. Some of the guys caught a glimpse of that and said, hey, we don't always have to go bomb away, we can float serve. Tough pass.
Gislin with a good serve, although Ohio State able to keep going. Great touch by Eric Cleus, and P-Tac converts for the Dons.
Great dig by Eric Cleus, again going to his left. The touch off the block by Cummings. Going flat out for the dig.
Point Dons, 3-3. And Gislin serves into the net. Though he got him back, got that point. 3-3. And Angel Aja.
19 service errors tonight for IPFW.
P-Tac, good pass out of the middle. Cummings.
That's what IPFW has to do a little bit more, run the middle. The passing, though, hasn't been there much of the night for Chris to set both Ruiz and Cummings, but he's got to start doing that more here in game three, opening it up for both Hector and Scotty.
P-Tac with the serve. Oh, and Hector Soto called over the net. Didn't give the ball a chance. He's got to wait for the ball to break the plane of the net. Is that correct?
That's correct. The setter went up. Aja went up to set the ball, and it's always a tough call. I've never been a big fan of that one, but Soto answers. He's got to give the setter the opportunity to play the ball, and that time he reached over when Aja was setting the ball, called for a violation.
Cummings with his floater. Quick set to McMillan. Quick back set there.
Only his 7th kill tonight. He's been quiet, but hitting for a high percentage, around 500. Both he and Esteves.
Hector Soto with the pass, and Hector Soto out of the middle with the kill. So a quick game of doubles there between Soto and Gislin. Scott Lane forcing the passing error, and Hector Soto finishes it off. Point Dons. They lead game 3, 4 games to 3. However, they losing in the match, 0 games to 2. Good rally going here. Hector Soto hitting long. Prior to that, though, Gislin tries to feed the 31 to Angel Ruiz. Angel Ruiz unable to handle that.
He's trying to set the middle. Service error there by Ohio State. That's what Gislin has to do. He has to continue to run the middle. Give Patak, Lane, and Soto a chance.
We're having a little video problems here, trying to switch a little equipment. And we'll play radio volleyball for you as the Dons hit long, and that's a side out Ohio State. Jose Rivera back to serve. 4-4, game 3. Ohio State leads 2 games to none. Quick set to Ruiz is blocked. Out to Patak on the outside. Blocked by Ohio State. Ohio State is saying that it went out, I believe. Touched the attacker, Patak.
The antenna first. Let's listen in.
Okay.
The referee telling that Patak wiped it off the block first and then hit the antenna. Therefore, a side out to IPFW. But Coach Hansen for Ohio State not buying it. Let's listen in again.
And we've got a replay being called.
He has an angle also from over there. I have 2 different calls.
Chris Gislin with a very valid point. He's saying the far lines person on the opposite side, how can he see that from that angle? In the end, referee Eric Goulmont says we're going to have a reserve.
So replay is the call, 4-4. Great pass on the part of the Dons. Great dig. Soto getting dug. Triple block there down the chimney. Olry is able to convert for the Buckeyes, and the Buckeyes go up 5-4.
Great dig by the libero for Ohio State, Ross McLean, the senior out of Ohio. He's made a couple nice digs off of Soto attempts.
Cleo's high pass. Scott Lane from the right side. From the back court. Gislin outside to Patak. In transition, Ohio State. Olry gets blocked by Chris Gislin. High outside to Olry, and Gislin puts it straight down on the block.
Ohio State continuing to play good defense behind their block. Steves and Aha touching a lot of balls.
Dons are down 4-5 here in game 3. And that is ruled a point for the Dons. A high outside set to Olry. Olry putting the ball into the antenna. Dons tied up 5-5. Angel Ruiz back to serve. Ruiz barely getting it over. Good serve. Quick back set to Esteves, and Esteves able to side out for the Buckeyes.
Esteves so agile, so quick off his feet. Makes him very tough to read. He's got a lot of shots offensively in the middle, can cut it all ways.
Big hit by Patak. Dug, however, to the opposite Fash, and Fash hits it long. So Ohio State in transition, and Fash hitting it out. Side out Dons. Gislin back to serve. 5-5. Dons are down 2 games to 0. And Gislin with the service error.
Get that point back. Let's go.
Aha's floater passed up nicely by Pitak. And Pitak is put into a double block by Gislin on the combination attempt.
First run there by Chris, running an X-play combination on Mike Cummings, coming in for the quick. McMillan at 6'9" really doesn't have to jump with Cummings. That time going with Patak and able to stuff block the ball.
A little slowage in play here as IPFW wipes up a little sweat off the floor.
Right now IPFW trying to look for something offensively in their side-out offense to combat Ohio State serving.
Chris Gislin peeling it off the net, and that is a side-out Dons as Scott Lane hits from the outside. Pitak with a high toss, forcing an overpass, and Scott Lane putting that away. Ulrey not too pleased with himself, passing the ball up and over.
Taking no chances on that, Scott Lane. That's what Coach Johnson loves to see. Bomb that overpass.
Tough pass on the part of Ohio State, and they are scrambling. However, they are hit it long, and so that's a point Don, 7-6. So the tough serve forcing a bad pass, and net a point for the Dons.
Jeff Patak serving very aggressively here. Another tough serve.
Good pass, though, by Ulrey, running the quick middle to McMillan, and he is able to side out, so another good play on the part of McMillan.
McMillan with those long arms, it's those high, deep balls, that time out of the reach of Patak.
And that serve is long on the part of Ohio State. Mike Cummings is back. The librero, Heraclius, takes a break for a second. Float serve by Cummings. The quick 31 to McMillan, and he is able to convert that, so 2 in a row for McMillan.
Now Aha's gone back to running the middles in this game. Got away from them in game 2, but now in game 3, Rene Estevez and Colin McMillan seeing a lot of balls, keeping the IPFW blockers guessing now.
And the quick set to Angel Ruiz out of the hands of Chris Gislin. Side out Dons.
Right back at you. Nice shot by Ruiz.
Dons up 7-6. In game 3, however, down in the match, 2 games to none.
Serving number 15, Scott Lane.
Another break for a mop up of the floor. Scott Lane ready to bring his jump serve into play. Lane a little off speed there. Combination for Ohio State. Heraclius touches, but the Dons are called on a net violation. Side out Ohio State, and we are back with visuals. Thank you for your patience. You're watching College 56, your source for IPFW volleyball action. This is Jay Warren along with Ryan Perrott. We've got Ohio State serving in game 3, down 6-7. Number 11, Chris Fash. Scott Lane able to tool the block. Ohio State not agreeing with that call, thinking that Scott Lane hit it out of bounds.
100 fans or so behind us screaming, thinking that the ball hit the antenna. In fact, it did not.
Now that ball radically changed direction. So what is the what is the ref looking for there? He's looking for a straight touch, or does he look at the direction of the ball? What is he
looking for? The direction of the ball, looking to see if it did in fact touch the Ohio State blocker, which it did, and not the antenna not moving. So a clear, easy call for the lines person.
Rivera back to serve. And his serve is long. Angel Ruiz back for the Dons. Up to the front is Mike Cummings, and taking a seat is Heraclius Ruiz. Dons able to block that attempt. Back to the middle, dug up by Ruiz. In transition, Ohio State. And Chris Fash able to put that away from the opposite position.
Couple great sets by Aja. Ran Estevez in the middle a couple times and then kicked it into the backside. Easy put away for the Buckeyes.
And the float serve is out on the part of Renee Estevez. Chris Gislin, top spin, big serve there. Good pass, however. Out of the back, Fash. Side out Buckeyes. Aja back to serve. He floats it in. P-Tack on the pass. Perfect to Gislin. Back to P-Tack. P-Tack touched and dug. Heraclius with the big dig. And we have a lift called on IPFW.
It's a great dig there by Heraclius. Fortunately, a violation.
So you're allowed a double contact on the first ball over the net.
That's right.
And despite now, does it matter if that ball was hard driven? Little beach ruling there?
Beach rules. Anything to make the action keep going. You're allowed the double contact the very first ball. The next ball cannot have a double contact at all, whether you're going to set it with your hands or with any part of your body with a bump set. Violation there on Ohio State.
Number 5, Jeff P-Tack.
Josh Sanders has now checked into the game for Mike Cummings, blocking middle for IPFW.
Serving number 2, Greg Clayton.
Gotcha. Float serve is passed up by P-Tack. Quick middle. Gislin to number 9, and we missed
Josh Sanders.
Josh Sanders into the game.
Off the bench, that's a tough play where you're cold and stiff. Comes right in, puts the ball away.
Josh Sanders and his float serve. Passed well by the Buckeyes. Chris Fash dug up. Great dig by Gislin. Off speed by Scott Lane. Another dig by Josh Sanders. And it's ruled out in transition. Ohio State hitting the ball long. And that's a point for the Dons. Josh Sanders into the net. So he gets one and is pulled out. One and done for Josh Sanders into the game, Heraclius. Back to serve, Colin McMillan. The Giant Redwood. Scott Lane, big heat, dug up, however. Dug up by number 2, Greg Lehman, who then gets rewarded for his efforts by getting a set in the pipe, and he's able to trickle it over the block.
Great one-man play there by Lehman for Ohio State. We're tied at 8.
Outside, Hector Soto, big cross-court hit.
Scott Lane back to serve.
Side out Dons, Scott Lane with the ball. Big heat there on the part of Lane. Lane with the dig. Back over to Ohio State. Chris Fash going down the line for the kill. So there's some nice defense on the part of IPFW.
Some nice digs by IPFW. Unfortunately, just not able to control the digs. So he had a chance to put it away.
Chris Fash flips it up for his top spin. P-Tack, no problem. And out of the pipe, P-Tack. Not fooled, however, is Jose Rivera, who is one-on-one with P-Tack and blocks him to the floor. Point Buckeyes, 9-8. Hector Soto with the pass, gets it back, tries to go extreme angle, however, We've got a net violation on part of Ohio State, and number 8, Rene Esteves, is pointing at himself, saying, yep.
Coach Hansen telling him to stay calm. That time reaching way over Aha for the block. Gets the net violation. But Hector gives it right back on the service error.
Ohio State leading game 3, 9-8, leading the match 2-0. Dons. Hector Soto converting against a triple block, still able to handle it out of the back row. Angel Ruiz. Big reach. Big reach by Ohio State's Rene Esteves, able to pull that. That was kind of a high set there.
He's got that unbelievable quick elevation off the floor, able to extend and put the quick set down.
Chris Lane able to get it to the floor for the Dons. And Ohio State in on the middle, and then Chris Gislin forces it out to the outside.
Forces it out to the outside, having the middle blocker for Ohio State wait a little bit, opening that up for Scott Lane. See if Gislin could get something going here on his jump serve.
Gislin. Down the line. One-on-one is number 2, Greg Lehman, after passing the ball. Gets it back, and he's able to put it past Scott Lane. Hector Soto gobbled up by the floater, and that's a point for the Buckeyes. Number 5, Angel Aha, serving that floater.
He's had a lot of success tonight with that deep float serve, barely crossing the top of the tape. Working on his Puerto Rican counterpart, Hector Soto.
Big hit, however, from the outside, Scott Lane. Down the line goes Lane, side out Dons. And we have Jeff Petak. And Petak's serve is long.
IPFW pressing on their serves, forcing a lot of service errors.
Here comes Lehman. Heraclius, good pass. Hector Soto bringing the heat cross court. Number 13, Ross McLean, the libero for Ohio State, unable to handle that, kind of wringing his fingers too, looks like.
Little floor burn, trying to pick up that Hector Soto shot.
And McMillan with the side out for Ohio State. Into the game for the Buckeyes, Rene Esteves. McMillan waiting for the whistle. Scott Lane with the off-speed. Ohio State's Angel Aha touches it, but unable to get it into play.
Smart shot by Scott Lane that time. The ball carried behind over his head. Nothing else he can do, just pull the string on it.
Lane serve is into the net.
They're chalking up the service errors.
Ohio State leading game 3, 10-8, leading the match 2-0. And Ohio State serve is long. Side out Dons.
Well, we've been at 10-8 for a while. IPFW stuck at 8. Soto to the float serve.
Another float serve back to the middle. Rene Esteves bouncing up and taking the quick ball out of the hands of Aha. Jose Rivera waiting for his signal. There we go. Out to Jeff Petak. And Petak is blocked to the floor by Ohio State's number 8, Renee Esteves, getting a hold of Pitak. Arnie Ball calls timeout for the Dons. This week on IPSGA Update, we'll show you highlights of the ISO banquet, the kickoff to Diversity Week at IPFW. On the ins and outs segment, correspondent Dan Westwick explains the ballot for the Decision 2000 Student Government Election. Plus, get the update on activities in the Student Government Association. That's every Friday at 1 p.m. on IPSGA Update, right here on College 56. Am I going to get a break to run to the bathroom?
Yeah, Dad. You want me to take over? Ohio State up 11-8 here in Game 3. Leading 2 games to none at a packed Gates Sports Center on the campus of IPFW. Look there at Coach Arnie Ball. IPFW here needs a side out. They need a spark. Jump serve here by Rivera. Good pass by Iacleos outside. Attack. Goes over top the block. Smart shot there by Jeff. Let's see if Ruiz can get a serve here as some perspiration is being mopped up. It's very tough to get anything against these Buckeyes. Very good offensive team. Number 1 in the nation. It's another side out as Greg Lehman tools the block. Angel Aja, the setter for Ohio State, has set a very nice game. He's worked the middle, couple combinations. That time Patak jamming it off Aja. He's called for a held ball. Chris Gislin back to serve. He'll jump it up. And another service error. That's 24 on the night for IPFW. When they first played back on January 22nd, 38 service errors for IPFW. Here's Aja with the deep float serve. Handcuffs Soto. There's a down ball. And that landed in. And the Buckeyes can't believe that. Smart shot there by Scott Lane, able to put the ball down. Little miscommunication play for the Buckeyes. 11-8 Ohio State.
And Jeff Pitak back to serve.
Overpass.
Hector Soto putting it away. Hector Soto going up for the overpass. Dons get one back. 11-9 Buckeyes. Combination play.
Again.
Lehman. Greg Lehman with the big kill, and he's pumped up.
IPFW still not able to adjust with the combination plays that Angel Aja is setting.
Jeff Pitak eyeing that ball out of bounds. Side out Dons. And substitutions for the Dons. Mike Cummings is in. And Cummings with the floater. Quick middle, McMillan.
Over the top. Those long arms.
Into the game for the Buckeyes, Renee Esteves. And back to serve is McMillan. Hector Soto from the outside, hard cross court. Unable to come up with it is McMillan.
A look there at Coach Pete Hansen. Scotty Lane getting ready to jump serve. Tie pass.
Overpass. Hector Soto able to put that away. Thank you very much, Scott Lane.
IPFW starting to creep now. Down 1 point at a time. As the ball has come onto the court, that's what you need against Ohio State. Just got to take it 1 point at a time.
Must-win game for the Dons as they are down 2-0 against the Buckeyes. And a net is called on, I believe, Angel Ruiz on the Dons.
Let's go. Come on, guys, we got to get a point right now.
And over here, Ohio State coach Pete Hansen saying, come on, guys, need a point. Ohio State coach feeling the pressure as well as the Dons are trying to creep back into this thing.
Well, Coach Hansen, that's a lot of respect for IPFW as he's had over the years. He knows that you have to, especially when you're up, you got to put them away. Don't give them the opportunities like they are now.
And the off-speed jump serve on the part of Hector Soto fools the librero, Ross McLean, as he's barely able to come up with it. And that results in a point for the Dons. They tie it at 11. Hector Soto.
Soto back to the jump serve now. He's taking a couple things off, a couple speeds off of it. Nice block there. That's a lift.
The dump on the part of Aha, and that was gobbled up by Eric Cleus.
Nice thing by Cleus as Rios went to turn around from being on the net. It caught him in his stomach. Quick reaction called for a lift.
Pitak with the pass on the money. And Hector Soto with a hitting error out of the pipe.
Oh, crucial hitting error there by Hector Soto.
12-11 Buckeyes. Jose Rivera flips it up for his topspin.
Nice pass by Pitak.
Pitak, big hit cross court. And that puts a little life into the Dons. Librero Ross McLean of Ohio State unhappy with that. And out of the middle comes Esteves.
A lot of middle action for Ohio State, both McMillan and Esteves. Put that together with the games that Fash and Olry and Rivera are having, they're going to be tough to beat.
Gislin to Pitak. Pitak high off the block, and the outstretched arm of Esteves unable to snag that ball. Side out Dons. Chris Gislin will serve it up for the Dons. Lehman with the kill as he goes hard cross court.
Back to serve number 5, Angel Aha.
And Aha with the floater. Pitak on the pass. Back to Pitak, and he is put down by Colin McMillan. Big block on the part of McMillan, and IPFW calls a timeout. Ohio State leads Game 3, 13-11, a must-win game for the Dons to stay alive as they are down in the match 2-0. Tune in to College 56 Sunday evening, March 12th at 7 p.m. for the replay of tonight's men's volleyball match with Ohio State University. That's Sunday evening the 12th at 7 right here on College 56.
Big stuff block there by Colin McMillan on that last point. He's second in the conference in blocks at 1.6 per game. Obviously that height being a factor. IPFW now trailing by 2 here in Game 3. They've had their chances with Ohio State. You know, if there was supposed to be a difference, I think, in tonight's game is they just gave up the big point at a big time in the match. And that's a shame because they've played really, really good volleyball here tonight. They've dug a lot of balls, they've blocked a lot of balls. Just converting in those crucial situations perhaps have cost them here tonight.
Ohio State fans cheering, let's go Bucks. P-Tech with the pass. Gislin, combination play to Soto. And down the chimney in front of McMillan it goes. Hector Soto with the kill. Little backside combination there.
Little backside combination. Good run. Smart set there by Gislin. Trying to see what can work. Get them back here in the game 3.
Big serve. Down the line. Hitting error. Chris Fash. So the pressure put on Fash by the hard serve of Jeff P-Tech down the line. And the Dons are down 1. Big. P-Tech really putting it on. Lehman able to get through the block of Hector Soto.
Greg Lehman has come in and done a wonderful job for Ohio State. He's dug a couple big balls. He's put some away.
Out to Hector Soto. Right over the double block. Right over the hands of McMillan.
Hector Soto, 50-inch vertical leap. That time hitting over the much bigger, much taller Colin McMillan of Ohio State. Hector not intimidated by that block at all.
Cummings putting the ball short. Back out to Fash, and Fash is dug, but the dig is out of bounds. Side out Buckeyes. Into the game for the Buckeyes, number 8, Renee Esteves, and Ross McLean takes a seat briefly. Also into the game for the Buckeyes, Tom Trantow. We haven't seen Tom Trantow, I believe, since game 2.
He's in for Colin McMillan. For defensive purposes, he'll serve.
Taking no chances with the float serve. Soto with the passing error. Point Buckeyes.
Didn't move his feet that time. Got set with the float serve. Shanked it off his arms. And now a match point for Ohio State.
Ooh, and a costly service error on the part of Trantow at match point, giving up the ball to the Dons. And that is a saving grace for the Dons. Scott Lane with the jump serve. Combination play.
Wow.
To Jose Rivera, and Rivera knows what to do with that.
IPFW has not adjusted to that all night long. Aha running the combination time and time again. IPFW middle blockers up with the first guy, the second guy easy put away.
Got to go to the money. Hector Soto. A net called on Ohio State is irrelevant, as Hector Soto putting the ball away for the Dons. So when it comes down to crunch time, you go to your man.
Chris Gislin finds a lot of confidence in Hector Soto, especially in crunch time. Hector always responds.
And a nice set on the part of Aha there, feeding Fash out of the backcourt.
Third chance now for Ohio State to finish this match.
Jose Rivera waiting for the signal. Scott Lane being forced to set. P-Tech, Ohio State stays in it with a swing and match point. They are blocked. Scott Lane again to Soto in the pipe, and he is blocked. Ohio State beating IPFW in 3 games, 15-12 in game 3. Tough loss for the Dons. What do you want to do? Not yet.
We will soon, though. We could just talk it up. I'll give my talks right now, I guess, opinion. IPFW with a tough home loss, 16, 14, 17, 15, 15, 12, the final scores. IPFW close in game 1 and game 2.
No more than 3 points in every game.
Differential, as I mentioned earlier, they just gave up the crucial point at the crucial time. And whether it was a serving error or a blocking error or a defensive error, they just gave up that point. And give credit to Ohio State. I mean, they played very well tonight. Hostile environment here at the Gates Sports Center. And it's a tough pill to swallow if you're IPFW.
Where does IPFW go from here now? What do they have to do to regroup?
Well, IPFW, they're on their way to California next week. They're going to play a couple matches out there. They've played well. They played well. They just got to work on a few things. Blocking assignments, obviously. Ohio State, a lot of success running the combination play, the tandems in the middle with Estevez and Rivera. You know, that they got to get better at that.
And you got to think that the Dons are going to face that in California.
In California, they'll face that. Plus, they're serving tonight. 2 service aces. I think 25, 26 service errors. It's almost the same scenario that happened at Columbus when they had 38 service errors. So, obviously, when you don't serve well, when you don't pass well, it puts a lot of pressure on your side-out offense. And tonight, it was a smart play by Estevez going to the float serve early, and that gave AHA the confidence as well to go back with the float serve and say, hey, we're not going to beat you just with our heat, we're going to beat you also with our off-speed stuff. And the float serve sort of helped Ohio State as well because IPFW broke down on their passing play.
Okay, and the big match in the conference, Ohio State now the team to beat.
Ohio State now takes over the #1 spot. They're at 7-1 in the conference. IPFW will drop down to 2nd place, and it's a big match because now both their meetings are over with, so IPFW will have to hope for outside help in order to catch Ohio State to be #1.
And as far as the conference tournament, what does that do to their situation in conference tournament? Okay, here you're looking at match point, jump serve on the part of Ohio State. That forced Scott Lane to set the ball up, and there's Foch who gets dug. There's Scott Lane again. He goes to Hector Soto out of the pipe facing a triple block and is blocked down for match point.
To answer your question before we saw the replay, well, first of all, Ohio State gets to host this year's MIVA conference tournament, so they're very dangerous at home. But as for seedings, I mean, yeah, you'd like to be in the top 4. You get to host the quarterfinal match and then move on to the semis, and whether, depending on where Loyola Chicago should finish, 3rd or 4th, Mercyhurst, Lewis as well. So obviously you want to get into the top 4 for seeding purposes into the tournament. Now, of course, I mean, we've got another half of the season still left to go. So, if you're IPFW, you're disappointed about the loss, but right now you're not looking that far down to the tournament time. Just take a match at a time.
What do you want us to do here? Well, to recap, we have the IPFW Dons lost in straight games to Ohio State, 16-14, 17-15, 15-12. Here at the Hilliard Gates Sports Center. The Dons' next match in California.
Next Thursday against Long Beach State, a rematch from last year's Final Four, and they'll also play Loyola Marymount.
And the Dons have a little revenge on their mind after that defeat.
Exactly, and this will also help in their rankings. They're 8th seed. Went out to Hawaii a couple weeks ago and fell to a couple good teams. So hopefully they can get back to playing good ball and get back on the win track.
All right, thank you very much. Our program tonight was sponsored in part by Dairy Queen, Waterfield Mortgage, and Fujifilm, Touchstone, Chestnut Group Incorporated, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Pizza Hut of Canterbury, featuring famous Pizza Hut pizza. We'd like to thank at this time the College 56 production crew, the IPFW athletics staff, the City of Fort Wayne, Comcast Cablevision, the IPFW Learning Resource Center, and especially the IPFW Office of University Relations and Communications for their contributions to this College 56 sports telecast. This is telecast of IPFW Sports is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized duplication, exhibition, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed our telecast of IPFW Sports. Thanks again for joining us this evening. For Ryan Perrott, this is Jay Warren saying goodbye for now.
Showing. And they have the power too. With Snap, here is the power.
Government office, the IPSGA Senate meeting just got over and